Jurassic World Rebirth is shaping up to be a really good movie from what we have been told so far. Despite some leaks and rumours surrounding the movie, a lot of people are still being extremely optimistic about it from what we have seen so far. Unfortunately, as December now draws to an end, we haven't gotten a trailer for the movie just yet, but that hasn't stopped people drawing their own conclusions on the movie already. With the images alone, we've already been given a set in tone for what to expect that gets us even more excited about what's to come. But for me, it all comes down to that trailer and what we see within it. Nevertheless, along with some new images came some riveting news about the franchise. No, not that Jurassic World Rebirth is going back to the roots of the franchise, but something that has seemed to be rather overlooked, and not many people have discussed it lately. So today, I want to discuss that comment that was made by the director of the movie himself, where it seems ever so likely that a brand new trilogy for the Jurassic franchise is on the way. We're still on our way to 250,000 Jurassic fans here on YouTube, so make sure you become one of them today by subscribing to the channel to show your support for not just this channel but also the Jurassic franchise. In 2025, we will have loads of brand new content for you guys to enjoy as we have Jurassic World Evolution 3, Jurassic World Rebirth, Jurassic World Chaos Theory Season 3 and beyond, and maybe, just maybe, Jurassic Park Survival. But who knows what they're doing with that. But with all of that juicy Jurassic content to follow, make sure you're subscribed so that you can stay up to date with all of the latest news here in one place. But for now, get your snacks and sit back as we dive deep into the news that Jurassic World Rebirth could be starting a whole new trilogy in the Jurassic franchise. So in an article just a few months ago, they were kind of teasing that a new movie after Jurassic World Rebirth was going to happen, and initially when we read that, it was obviously lining up with the rumours and the leaks that an 8th Jurassic World movie was in the works and that it should be releasing around the year of 2028. Now of course there's only really two sources that this originally comes from, one of them is merely just a rumour, but the other one comes from Giant Frickin' Robot, which again isn't the most reliable source when it comes to stuff like this. However, they have got some stuff right in the past, so take it with a pinch of salt. But we do know that there is supposed to be an 8th movie on the way. So with this information that we are going to get a 7th, we are going to get an 8th, of course that's just one movie away from a trilogy, so we were sat here wondering, is that actually going to happen? Will we finally be getting another trilogy, a third trilogy in the franchise? Well, it took until December before we got some new information regarding this, where we got a brand new quote in an article by Entertainment Weekly, specifically from the director himself, Gareth Edwards, where he confirms that Jurassic World Rebirth feels like a brand new trilogy, but he can't speak for Universal themselves. He says in this article, "I can't speak for Universal, but it did feel like a new trilogy in a way. I'm not sure what their plans are, but it felt like the beginning of a brand new chapter in this franchise. To me, it's a giant love letter to Steven Spielberg and his earlier films. There are moments in the movie that remind me very much of Jaws. It's like little greatest hits of all of those aspects of his films that I loved growing up as a child. It's essentially a little adventure odyssey across the island, a survival story, really." So right there, he does confirm that Jurassic World Rebirth does in fact feel like a start of a brand new trilogy. Now of course he is merely just the director, but that word enough gets us really excited. Now of course he does say he can't speak for Universal themselves because at the end of the day, they give the green light for all of these movies and shows that happen. So if Jurassic World Rebirth doesn't really do well at the box office, I think it's safe to say that we will not be getting that trilogy anytime soon. However, if it does do very well at the box office, even reaching $1 billion like all of the movies have so far, then I think it is safe to say that we will be getting a trilogy. And if we do get that trilogy, because Gareth Edwards says that this feels like the start, I think it is safe to say that Gareth Edwards will continue through and make the second movie and the third movie in this brand new trilogy as well. That's why I say that the quote coming directly from the director himself is very crucial and very important, because if we were to play with the idea that Universal gives the green light for this trilogy to go ahead, I have no doubts that Gareth Edwards will probably helm this trilogy and run it all the way through. Why would a director make a movie that feels like the start of a new trilogy? Of course, the movie will come to an end, but I know that there will be plenty of plot holes or maybe even future potential stories that will be set up in Jurassic World Rebirth, allowing for this trilogy to happen. And who created that? Well, that would be David Koepp, the writer himself, and also Gareth Edwards, who directed this movie. So if we were to compare this to the previous trilogy, the second trilogy in the franchise, how does this compare to the Jurassic World trilogy that Colin Trevorrow made? Well, Gareth Edwards clearly has the ideas that Jurassic World Rebirth could move into a brand new trilogy, so he has that plan on his mind. Maybe he hasn't got it written out as well, but he does know that a second movie is plausible, and maybe even a third as well, given what he knows about Jurassic World Rebirth and what takes place. Now, Colin Trevorrow actually had the whole Jurassic World trilogy in his mind for a very, very long time, and after I think nearly 9 years or 10 years, he finally was able to put it together. Understandably, some people aren't really fans of some of the later entries in the franchise, but for me, I really enjoyed them. Whilst Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom may not have been the greatest movie of them all, it's still a movie that I thoroughly enjoy every time I watch it. Jurassic World Dominion, for me at least, is probably one of the better movies of the whole franchise, and Jurassic World was just a very good storytelling from the original Jurassic Park, as if it was a what if Jurassic Park did open. So for me, I found enjoyment in all three of these movies. But I can't help but think that they were confined to the stories of Jurassic Park a little bit too much. Jurassic World is essentially Jurassic Park. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, they return to an island and try to take dinosaurs off of the island, very similar to the Lost World Jurassic Park. And Jurassic World Dominion, they tried to rescue a child who has gone missing in dinosaur-infested land. That also happens in Jurassic Park 3. So if Jurassic World Rebirth was to start up something new, it makes me think, what does Gareth Edwards have in mind here? Now, it's not to a great start so far because they are returning to another island, which is a brand new island in the Jurassic franchise. So we do have that unfortunate aspect of Jurassic World Rebirth, but it just makes you think, what does Gareth Edwards have in his mind here? From what we know so far about Jurassic World Rebirth, it seems like they're trying to control a disease that's wiping out not just the population of the dinosaurs, but also the population of humanity. So Rebirth may set up an issue within humankind's survival with diseases, and dinosaurs may either be the cause or maybe even the cure for these diseases for humans. But either way, we know that this population is lowering. So whilst I can't really think of a trilogy story like I can with the Jurassic World story, there is still an aspect of something to do with diseases and population control in this world. After all, they are slightly ahead in the future here, as Jurassic World Rebirth takes place in 2028. So whilst it is very hard to figure out what this brand new trilogy could be about, there is a likelihood here that based off what we know in the synopsis of Rebirth so far, this new trilogy would work on maybe people finding multiple cures for multiple diseases to prevent the downfall of humanity in this world. We were thinking this whole time, humans and dinosaurs can't coexist because dinosaurs will kill the humans. But little did we know that these dinosaurs could be creating new diseases that kill the humans that way instead, but the dinosaurs also hold the cures. Who knows, something like that could be worked very well into a trilogy. Only Gareth Edwards and maybe even David Koepp has in mind what they could do for an 8th and 9th movie for the Jurassic franchise. Either way, a trilogy builds up to something big. Unfortunately, Jurassic Park 3 wasn't quite the trilogy payoff, but given the time in the movie industry that released back in 2001, they didn't really do something like that. But Jurassic World Dominion culminated all of that opportunity that was missed in the Jurassic Park trilogy into that movie itself. They finalized the stories of the Jurassic World trilogy and the whole saga itself, and they also set up numerous amounts of movies after Dominion as well. So that is the something big culmination that these trilogies lead up to, something like Jurassic World Dominion. So we're just going to have to wait and see what Jurassic World Rebirth turns into, but firstly, let's make sure it does very well at the box office later next year. So Jurassic World Rebirth will be something new. We've already established that as they are set in 2028, 5 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion, so they want to set a time gap from the last movie, and I have suspected that they wanted to do that so that then we can have a sequel to Rebirth, or a few sequels to Rebirth, taking place soon after it in the timeline. Movies tend to release 3 years in between each other, but Rebirth could be taking place, I don't know, in March of 2028, the sequel to Rebirth could be July of 2028, and then the finalization of this trilogy could be January 2029 in this timeline, who knows. But this way, if they set Rebirth in the future, they can easily do something like that. This eliminates the need to wait so long for a movie that is set in the past from our actual world if it were to release, if you know what I mean. Either way, the movie will hopefully be something new based off this information that a new trilogy is starting, but I'm interested to learn what you guys think. What could be the story of this new trilogy, and how do you think it would work? Head on down to the comments to share your thoughts and opinions below, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new around here to stay up to date on all of the latest Jurassic World news here on YouTube. But most importantly, make sure you're all staying safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hello, hi, you. Did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.